Hello and greetings, crafting friends. I am excited that you have joined me here today. This is Patty Bennett. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I have these cute cards to share with you today. Look at this fun design. This one uses the Stampin' Up Stellar Birthday set. This one features the Kite Delight stamp set. And this one, which was my inspiration, was designed by Tammy, and she used the Ladybug bundle here and the Daisy Punch to do this one. Isn't this cute? I actually made this, but she taught me how to do it. So she called it the Circle, what did she call it? The Circle Peekaboo Fun Fold, I think. Oh my gosh, I just asked her and now I forgot. Anyway, it's a Circle Peekaboo card, and it's a fun fold. So there you go. Whatever you'd love to call it is great. After I made this, I knew that I wanted to create it with other fun designs, so I think these turned out just adorable. And I actually used the wonderful New Horizons designer paper in the background here, and I've done coloring with, you can see over here, I have my Stampin' Blends out that I was using to color. I did some coloring, so I would love to show you how to put this card together. I think you're going to love it. I do want to mention something that I learned in the process. Do you notice how this one stays pretty flat and the circle stays really true in the center there? I used thick Whisper White on these, and since they don't tend to stay down, like even when I keep using my bone folder, see how it still is kind of popping up? And so that makes it kind of hard for it to stay down and have the circle stay in the circle. So I would just suggest that you just use regular white or regular weight cardstock, not thick, because that's what's making this pop up. It's still totally cute, and it'll fold flat for your mailing, and then the recipient will just be like, oh my gosh, how fun is that, right? But anyway, I just wanted to point that out before we started actually crafting here. Okay, so I did write down the information. Oh, let me put my blog on here because this is also on my blog. It's pattystamps.com. And so you can go over there today. If you are on YouTube, you can jump over to pattystamps.com. You can also use the links in the description, and you can print this out there if you'd like to. You can take a screenshot on this video, whatever works better for you. But we do have just some basic supplies here. So we have our base card, which is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's just simply scored in half at 4 1/4. So that's just your typical base card. So that's this. We are going to punch or die cut, your choice, a 2 1/4 inch circle right out of the front. For ease of this video, I have grabbed my Stampin' Up punches. I know that Stampin' Up has retired those circle punches. You can use a die if you prefer, but just so that you can see me do it on camera, I'm just going to be using my punches for that. You will have a piece of designer paper for the front of your card, and it is just kind of your typical 4 by 5 1/4 inch. We'll be cutting that down, and I'll show you how to layer these and punch the holes. And then for the inside portion, you will have a piece of, it doesn't have to be white. For our purposes here, we are doing white, and it is 5 1/4 by 8. And then it will be scored at 4 and at 6. So we'll do that together and I'll show you. You can just see here real quickly. That's your white piece scored at 4 and at 8, and then it folds up that direction to go inside. So total cuteness. If you wanted to layer your circles, this smaller circle would be a 2-inch circle. Here you can see on this one I did not. I'll show you what I did to make that circle. This one also has the 2-inch white circle. So that's sort of an optional piece. The other optional piece is this designer paper that goes inside. 1 3/4 by 5 is this piece right here. You can see that I also added it to that card. But on this one, I left it white and I just did some stamping and a cloud punch on it. So either way, you don't have to add that extra piece. All right, so we're going to actually kind of recreate the pieces for that. So let's do this together. And I'm just going to scoot these over and show you how they all go together. So again, our base card, typical 5.5 by 8.5, scored in half at 4 1/4. And then we need to either punch or die cut that circle. I am grabbing my 2 1/4 inch punch and I'm going to push it all the way down. And then I am centering, I'm just sort of looking and trying to put the same amount of cardstock top and bottom so that it's basically centered. And then I'll punch. And we're going to use this, so don't get rid of that. So there we have that circle. We are going to cut this New Horizons paper. This is what I used for my starry planetary sky, whatever you'd like to call it. And that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to do 5 1/4 this direction. And then 4. And while we have this piece here, I'm going to go ahead and cut the DSP for the inside 1 1/4 by 5. So 1 1/4 by 5. And then that'll just be ready. Okay, so those are my 2 pieces from the New Horizons paper. I absolutely love that paper. It is amazing. Then I'll show you what I did, and I'm sure there's other ways to accomplish this. But my preference was to put some liquid glue on the front, and then I sort of surrounded that circle a bit. And then I put this piece on like that. Just give that just a moment to set up. So you'll notice no glue where the circle was because there was a hole there. And then I just opened it back up. I realigned my punch and I punched out that piece. Like I said, there's other ways you can accomplish that. You could use your die cutting machine. You can do it whatever works for you, but that's what I did rather than trying to go through 2 layers at once. So now we have the outside done. I'm just going to set that aside while we do this inside, and we need to score. So this is our 5 1/4 by 8 inch piece of white, and it needs to score at 4 and at 6. So 4 and 6. And since everybody always asks, this is a little self-adhesive ruler that I have added to the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. I just personally like to be able to see the numbers. When I put my paper here, I like to look at those numbers. It's from Amazon. It is called a reverse self-adhesive ruler. And it's like a sticker. So it's just a sticker that I rolled out and put on there. And you can find those on Amazon. So here is our piece that was scored. Basically, it's scored in half and then at 2 inches. And this is just regular basic white Stampin' Up! Cardstock. And so this is going to lay a little flatter than the example when I was showing you how this kind of pops up. It's okay. It works. We are going to put this piece inside. And just center it just like you were doing a matted layer so that you have the blue all the way around. Oh, this, by the way, is Misty Moonlight. It is a retiring in color. So by the time you see this video, it is possible that this color would be sold out, but you can use other colors, you know, whatever you would like to use. So now this circle will get attached here, and that's what's going to show through. And rather than doing the white circle like my other two samples, when I flipped this piece over, I thought, oh, I love that. So I attached my blue circle and my designer paper series circle together to make my circle for the inside. But before you attach it, you need to put that strip on. And I cut it at 1 1/4. I did, didn't I? Let me grab a different piece. I just realized I can actually visualize what I was doing as well. I just visualized that and realized what I did. Probably you were all yelling at me on the video, right? You were probably all saying, "What are you doing? You're cutting it wrong." That's okay. I have plenty of paper in my stash. So 1 3/4 by 5. And you might be saying, well, you could have started your video over. Yes, I could have. But, you know, everybody makes mistakes. So it's all right. Ooh, that piece is pretty too. No, I think I'm going to put the glue on that side. So if you are using a piece of designer paper here on this flap, then you want to put that down before you put your circle on. Ask me how I know that part too. I might have learned that by trial and error. Okay, so we have those glued together. And then to place it perfectly, you'll want to close your card and set it down and adhere it so that this front flap will open right on top of the circle. What I did was I just grabbed a little piece of my foam adhesive sheet and I put it there and put the circle on top of it because I liked Tammy's sample. I don't know if you can see, if I kind of open it a little bit, you can see that it is popped up. And it does look really cute when this whole thing is kind of popping up through that circle. So we will trim this down just a little, just so it doesn't stick out. I love foam adhesive sheets. Or you can use a couple of dimensionals. So let's see. I don't know that it matters which direction this goes. It really doesn't. We're just going to put it on half and get that ready so that when we put it inside that circle and press, now it's going to be stuck down to that part. See? Isn't that easy? I just thought this was going to be so hard to make when Tammy showed me. And then when she showed me how easy this was, I was just like, oh my goodness, that is just so fun and so simple, really, right? Isn't that easy? And then I stamped from the Stellar Birthday Stamp Set, the cute little astronaut and her rocket. And I colored them with my Stampin' Blends. And you can see what I did. I cut them out and I added her with a greeting from the set and I put the rocket on the circle. And again, can you see that that rocket is raised up with dimensionals? And it just really enhances the cute look of how it's all really 3D on here. And that circle just pops right up. Isn't that cute? And then this fun doggy is in the set as well as those words and these. And I just added them onto my card and that was it. So that's all you have to do. Isn't that simple? So fun. I love this idea. So let's look at the Kite Delight. That is this stamp set. And I did another piece of the New Horizons designer paper on the front and added the kite to the circle. And then I added the kite tail. You can see that is attached to the front, but it looks like it's attached to the kite, right? Isn't that fun? And then when you open it up, I did another kite with another kite tail, and I punched out clouds. Let me show you. The clouds are punched out with the cloud punch and another pattern of New Horizons paper. Isn't that fun? And the kite, do you see? I've just stamped it right on top of the New Horizons paper. I colored in a little bit of it, and that's what I actually used this piece right here so that it would have some fun color already. And then this piece, I simply stamped onto one of these New Horizons paper scraps as well. See, you might recognize this piece. We did this with the tulips, and I will try to link to that up here if you missed that video. But just an idea to show you that you can stamp on your designer paper and use it for punch outs. Or if you prefer, you can just stamp and color on white cardstock or whatever color you would like. So that is the fun way to make these cards. Again, we have the kite, and we have the really cute out of this world, and then we have the ladybug. So 3 ideas, all the same pattern, and thanks to Tammy Savello for this idea. I love this. I think it is so much fun. I hope that you'll have fun making these and that you'll visit me at pattystamps.com if you would like to print out a copy of all these measurements and details for the cards. You can shop for these Stampin' Up! Supplies on my blog as well, and I do appreciate that you stamp and shop with me. See you next time. Bye.